What is up, everybody? Joe here. Welcome back to Taste Like Music. We are deep into 1963, and we're doing songs. Jason did his top 25 yesterday, and I'm going to do my top 25 right now. It's a hell of a year for singles, for songs. Not the greatest album of the year. Album basically didn't exist yet, but songs. This was really tough. I left off a lot of good tracks. We'll jump into it. I think you'll like what I have going here. Nice diversity. Plenty of songs from artists that, maybe not my favorite. I know a great song when I hear it. And my number 25 is a great song from Mr. Bob Dylan. I'm going to go with Hard Rain Are Gonna Fall. I'm not the biggest Dylan fan. It's fine. I don't have to be. It doesn't make me a bad person. Think the simplicity here, just the guitar. And I really do like Dylan's vocals here. I love when he gets a little higher with the it's a hard rain gonna fall. I think he does a really nice job with that. Number 24, I'm gonna go with La Première Bonheur de Jour from however you say her name. I don't know. I'm not French. Lovely vocal part here. She sings it really well. I love the arpeggiated guitar. A really pretty nice song in French. I don't know what the lyrics are. She didn't write it, but I'm sure they're lovely. Number 23, I've Been Good to You from The Miracles, a song so nice that John Lennon stole it for Sexy Sadie. Look what you've done. You made a fool out of every one line. And Jet would later steal it for their song. So, the circle of songwriting here. But the original laid down by Mr. Smokey Robinson. Great tune, great falsetto from Smokey. Number 22, maybe the most rocking song on my whole list. I got Foolish from Ike and Tina Turner. Tina's killing it on the vocals, and Ike's laying down some pretty tasty licks here. He's got a solo in there. It's pretty gnarly, some pretty cool sounds coming out for 1963. Just a really, cool track, bluesy. But you got, Tina's vocals are just so powerful, kind of catapults it into a whole nother level. You guys wanted some Coltrane on the list. Well, here you go, you vultures. I got In a Sentimental Mood from Duke Ellington and Mr. John Coltrane. This is just such a pretty track. Ellington, he's a master composer, and he's laying down this little piano riff that repeats throughout. Coltrane's doing some cool solos. Just a really great jazz track from those two monsters of jazz. Number 20, I'm going to go with Cry Me a River from Leslie Gore. She has a bunch of tunes that were in contention for my top 25. Very interesting. Produced by Quincy Jones. So it sounds amazing. Vocals are perfect for a little jazzy. I don't know if it's like a samba instrumental part kind of backing her up. And she sounds amazing on it. If you combined both Leslie Gore albums into one, I think there's 4.5 stars worth of material there. She kind of split it up. But she had some great stuff in 1963, that is for sure. Number 19, a track, back in the day, the Dave Clark Five rivaled the Beatles, I guess, in popularity. I don't know. You never hear about them now, but Glad All Over is an absolute monster. It is so much fun. It is so peppy. It is so just rambunctious. It's got that great rock and roll spirit. The call and response vocals, what they call the air hammer beat, known as the Tottenham sound. It was the number 2 selling single of 1964 behind Can't Buy Me Love in the UK, of course. Number 18, our first, but certainly not our last track from the Beatles. We got Twist and Shout, their cover, and it's just a great tune. John Lennon's vocals, just raw. He's just screaming it out. One of my favorite all-time vocal performances, definitely my favorite from Mr. Lennon there. Just so much fun. You just want to dance along. Number 17, a little country action from George Jones, the possum, they used to call him. I Saw Me. And it's a pretty stereotypical country tune. It's got that pedal steel. It's got that forlorn spirit. He's, crying out. But it's just so well made, so well done, so well sung. His vocals just reduce you to tears with its emotion. Just a really Great track from Mr. Jones. Number 16, I'm going to go with Then He Kissed Me by the Crystals. Just a classic girl group song. It's got that wall of sound production from Mr. Phil Spector and a great arrangement by Jack Nietzsche. Number 15, Can I Get a Witness? Marvin Gaye, not on Some Kind of Fellow from this year. That was a single. It came out after. And it's Marvin Gaye. He's killing it. It's a Holland Dozier Holland track. They really found their footing in '63, and Gaye just sings the hell out of it. And I got to get some Marvin Gaye on my list. It goes without saying. Number 14, another Beatles. I got All My Loving from the Beatles. I mentioned it's from the Beatles. You may have not known about them, but they were pretty good back in 1963. I love John Lennon's rhythm guitar here. Great bass line from Paul McCartney. It's the Beatles. They were really good. Number 13, another jazz track for you animals. I'm going to go with Solo Dancer leadoff track from Mingus's The Black Saint and the Sinner Lady. This one, it's like an entire film noir, just like condensed into this track. It's weird, like it pushes the limits of what I like and what I can listen to, but it does so in a way that you just want to keep coming back to it because it just reveals more and more every time you listen to it. The playing is phenomenal. Just a really cool, weird, different tune for me, but I couldn't leave it off my list here. Number 12, In My Room from the Beach Boys. Brian Wilson really came into his own with the arrangements in '63 on Surfer Girl, the album. This was the first track he ever wrote, I guess. So he's good, right? Yeah. Number 11, track from the Caravels, which made my number 2 album of the year, a tune called Forever. And this whole album kind of just stunned me when I heard it. 2 of the songs that they wrote themselves, Forever and a different one, just don't sound like anything else from 1963. Forever sounds like a psychedelic, like 1967 track, the way they sing in close harmony. It's just really weird and just I can't stop listening to it. So it's on my list here. Number 10, I got Hossa Manina Hossa from Jorge Ben-Hor. However you say his name. I do not speak Portuguese, but I love this tune. The horn arrangement is really cool sounding. And he does this awesome falsetto at the end where he just like unleashes. You don't see it coming. Number 9, let's do another Dylan, shall we? He's got a lot this year. But I'm going to get Don't Think Twice, It's All Right on my list. The lyrics are phenomenal. I can't say anything bad about Bob Dylan in 1963, other than his album was a little long for my liking, 44 minutes for 63, come on. But Don't Think Twice, It's All Right. It's just an amazing track. I love the guitar playing even, and Bob Dylan worming his way into my heart here. Number 8, another from the Beatles, I Want to Hold Your Hand. Just so bouncy. Love the hand claps. It's jubilant. Harmonies are great. It's the Beatles, man. Number 7, another one from the Caravels, I Was Wrong. This one feels like it's probably a year ahead of schedule. Kind of jazzy pop rock that they're doing here. Again, the harmonies, the closeness of it just has this whole other sound that you do not hear in 1963. Really cool jazzy backing track. Love the bass. Just another one I can't stop listening to from the Caravels. Number 6, probably people are going to be pissed to see this so low on my list, but I got Be My Baby from the Ronettes. Classic wall of sound production from Phil Spector, Jack Nietzsche. A song so good, it made Brian Wilson pull over. He said he listened to it just all the time, just thousands and thousands of times, just obsessed with it. It led to him writing Don't Worry, Baby the next year, taking this as a template. Number 5, we got a little Dusty Springfield action. Her first solo single, I Only Want to Be With You. They took the wall of sound and they gave it to Dusty. And it's another one that's just so joyous. It's so much fun. It's so peppy and upbeat. You got that big hollow drum sound. Just love it. Love her vocals. I mean, she's an amazing singer. And she's having a lot of fun with this one. And I'm having fun while I listen to it. Number 4, with Roy Orbison from my album of the year, In Dreams. I'm gonna go with In Dreams. Love the way this is composed. It doesn't really have a chorus. It just sort of builds and builds and builds as he goes through the dreams. He wakes up. She's not there because the good things only happen in his dreams. When he hits that falsetto and he drops it down and kind of like honky tonk little turn, it's just, oh my God, gives you chills when he does it. Such an incredible vocal performance and just a killer track written by Roy. So it's bonus points there. Number three, my top Beatles song. I'm gonna go with She Loves You. Yeah, 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 from the Beatles. It's just so much fun. It's so just like driving. You just get caught up in the whole production. The kick drum and everything just, oh, it just picks you up and just takes you away. I don't know if I've sort of underrated this one in the past, but this past couple of weeks, it's the one I go back to more than anything else. So it's going to be my number one from 63 from the Beatles. So number two, this was also my number two when we did Songs of the Year way back when. Heat Wave from Martha and the Vandellas, one of the great early Motown singles. Feels like a step forward in the production. It feels like a step forward in the evolution of Motown. The vocals are just a little more fiery, especially at the end when they're kind of playing off each other. It's got that like big gospel sound. Got James Jamerson on bass. Love that chord progression. It's a classic, and it's just an absolute killer track. Before we get to number one, there's a couple songs I disqualified because they came out as singles in 1962. And I'll go through them first. You Really Got a Hold on Me by the Miracles, which is an absolutely killer song. Maybe Smokey's first great composition. Also got He's a Rebel from the Crystals. You got Phil Spector's incredible wall of sound there. It was actually sung by the Blossoms because the Crystals weren't available to sing it. And I don't know, it got all mixed up, but it's an amazing tune. Darlene Love on vocals there. But it came out in 62 and not 63, so it's not making my list. It'll probably make my 62 list. It's The End of the World by Skeeter Davis. The End of the World by Skeeter Davis, also released in 62. So it's not going to make my list, but it would in 1962. And my favorite song that came out on an album in 1963, unfortunately, it was released as a single in 1962. It's now my favorite song of 1962. It would be my favorite song of 1963 as well. Stubborn Kind of Fellow by Marvin Gaye. I know Be My Baby made Brian Wilson pull his car over to the side of the road because he was so just stunned by what he was hearing. Well, Stubborn Kind of Fellow is so good that Phil Spector almost crashed into a ditch just playing. He almost hit another car actually when he heard it. I think he stole the drum sound. I'm not sure. Someone can go back and check on that for me. But it's got that kind of like scholastic drumline sound to it. It's really cool, like those big hollow booms, that rat-a-tat-tat, like you're listening to, a drum line at a high school football game or something. Can't stop listening to it. I'm really upset that it's came out in 1962 and not 1963, but it's going to be off my list. My winner is going to be the same as it was. I got to go with Surfer Girl by the Beach Boys, same as it was when we did our 1963 Song of the Year. Just the vocal parts, Brian Wilson reaching a whole nother level with the way he arranges those. It's so pretty. It's a seaside lullaby. Between that and In My Room, really the first great Beach Boys compositions, the first great Brian Wilson compositions. All right. Hope you enjoyed my top 25 songs of 1963. You probably already left yours in the comments for Jason's video, but I'll leave them again. Let me know what you think of my picks. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Check us out on social media. It's mostly just me being a clown. But Facebook, X, Instagram, we're on there. Come check us out and make sure you stay tuned for Kramzer's video tomorrow or whenever he gets around to it. I'm sure it'll be great. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.